Galactic Coliseum is a game for 2 to 4 players, lasts 45 minutes, features sci-fi artwork and miniatures, and is mostly about area control and resource management.
You begin in the same start space, surrounded on all sides by a variety of enemies. Players move by defeating foes and claiming territory, which allows for new stages and enemies to be revealed. While many miniatures battle games rely heavily on dice and random encounter luck, Galactic Coliseum trades in these mechanics for strategic resource management. You will never attack a foe and get nothing or very little because of the roll of a die. Therefore, you will not waste any time, energy, or resources committing to a plan of attack. You either have the resources to defeat a foe, or you don't. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. On your turn, you can do one of two things. Take randomized batches of 3 power cubes, which are used to move and attack, or you can spend some power cubes by moving and attacking. A player selects which batch they want of the 15 available and adds the cubes to their stock for later use. Batches are not replaced until only one batch remains. When this happens, the next stage of enemies is also revealed, expanding the possibility space of the game and advancing play toward the end. The other half of this equation is movement and combat. To move, it costs 1 cube of any color. To take the space, the player must defeat the enemy occupying that space using a certain number and color of cubes dependent on the foe's type and color. For instance, a Green Reaper with 4 HP costs 4 green cubes to defeat, while a Blue Reaper costs 4 blue. Each enemy has different HPs rewarding a certain number of points. If you don't have the cubes to defeat it, then you can't attack the space. If that were all, the game might feel non-interactive, which would not be in line with miniatures combat. That's where the siphon gems and endgame scoring come into play. Siphon gems are single-use items that allow players to steal up to 2 like-colored cubes from an opponent. Players will only get 3 siphons across the entire game, but building up to their use and recovering from their impact is a major part of the game's tempo. Then there are ability cards. Players begin the game by drawing 5 ability cards and discarding down to 3. The randomization and selection here is where the game's player asymmetry comes from. These cards have a range of effects, but they won't be known until the player uses them or until the end game, when some abilities affect scoring. The game ends when a player claims a certain number of zones, depending on the number of players. Endgame scoring adds another directly competitive element by including 4 superlatives: most gold, gained by taking specifically marked areas, biggest contiguous territory, most low-level enemy kills, and most high-level enemy kills. Winning in each category gets a player 5 bonus points, and snatching these categories by the end of the game can have a big impact on who wins. Some of the player ability cards can even affect these scoring by artificially inflating their numbers, but no one will know if these cards are in play until scoring actually happens. Players also get points for the enemies they defeat, and possibly even more points for endgame character abilities. Most points wins. Galactic Coliseum sits in a unique space, utilizing miniatures to represent players and their enemies, but without turning into a game of luck and dice. Luck has very little to do in this game. You win or lose by the decisions you and your opponents make. Between the 5 power colors, 4 enemy tiers, the fact that spaces can contain 1, 2, or no enemies, and the variety of game setups, the value of various strategies, colors, and character abilities can vary widely. Predicting and adapting to these changes in value is a necessity if you want to be competitive.
Here's a basic turn. Right now we have Artemis. He's going to take some cubes from the Nexus. That'll be his turn. Now we have Havoc. Havoc has been planning and is just shy of having enough to take out some characters. He's going to spend a siphon gem and steal 2 pink from Artemis. Now he has enough. Spends 2 to move, and he can actually jump 1, 2 spaces, kill those guys, take the miniatures, put them in the trophy room. These are for points for later. And places portals on the spots. Ooh, we got gold. So this gold he keeps, jumps here, and that's a basic turn. Galactic Coliseum is a fast-paced strategy game where you are placed in an ever-expanding gauntlet of enemy miniatures. It is easy to learn and combines detailed minis, epic art, deterministic Eurogame elements like resource management, area control, network building, and variable player powers. All this together gives an asymmetric push and pull with the siphon gems and character abilities that make this game really fun. And that's it. Thanks for watching.